Ed O'Keefe joins me now from the North Lawn of the White House. We have news about Karoline Leavitt. What do we know, Ed?
She's leaving, Major. The president announcing this afternoon that she's off to become what he calls an outside advisor to him and the Republican Party as they prepare for the midterms. These kinds of departures do happen often right before or right after the midterms as the first wave of staff want to get out of the way and figure out what to do with the rest of their lives, either in the private sector and the quasi-public sector. Seems she's going to do at least a little advising from the political operation first. Let's remember, though, she's had a second child. Early indications are that has a lot to do with this, that she wants to be able to do that. She will end up being the second longest serving Trump press secretary after Sarah Huckabee Sanders and the youngest ever to hold the job. But I would note, since returning from maternity leave, I think we can count on one hand the number of briefings that she's held, which is a signal and a reminder that if you're working in the communications shop for Donald J. Trump, it can be a bit of a frustrating fool's errand because ultimately whatever is administration policy is what he says. And as you know, Major, he has a way of contradicting what those in his government have said even just minutes before him.
Two questions, Ed. Any inkling this was coming? That's one, continuing on the Karoline Leavitt subject. And then also, this now feels like day two of the Air Force switcheroo story. What new information do we have about that?
There were no indications, at least from for this reporter and those I've been speaking with, that she was preparing to go. But again, the lower frequency of briefings perhaps is an indication that they're at least settling into a different groove when it comes to how they engage us on a regular basis. The president does plenty of it himself. As for the plane switch, what we now know is who exactly was on which flight out of Ankara, Turkey last month. The president himself, remember, was scurried into a catering truck off of that version of Air Force One, and he was joined, we're now told, by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and close aides Walt Nauta, his body guy, Natalie Harp, one of his closest aides, and Deputy Chief of Staff Dan Scavino. They went with him to the smaller 757. Those remaining aboard that jet right there, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, two senior members of the line of succession, we should point out, as well as Stephen Miller and a handful of other senior aides who are flying back, dozens of other White House support staff, Secret Service agents, and, of course, journalists. Major.
Ed O'Keefe, thank you very, very much. I appreciate it.